So I saw American Animals, and I was like, the first 10 minutes, I'm like, is this real? Is this not real? This is crazy. So I know you have a background in documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
This is not quite the same style as what you've done in the past. I wanted to know, what about this story in particular made you want to really kind of create this fictional narrative and really take it there, but then also going back to your roots with the documentary elements?
Yeah, great question. I guess it was just the story itself. It felt like such a sort of outlandish, stranger than fiction story, but also, it's true. And, occasionally, we're all very familiar with that thing. You go into the cinema, it says based on a true story,
Yes.
or inspired by true events, and then you have that sneaky suspicion that actually they just kind of then exaggerated everything
Exactly.
and, turned it into a movie. And, well, the story was so kind of bonkers that it didn't need a whole lot of exaggerating or fictionalizing. And also the fact that the real guys were as sort of a surprising and unusual a group of criminals as they were, I couldn't get beyond wanting to have them in the movie in some way, so that the effect of it is you don't just go off into movie world where you're kind of watching and you're not really participating because you don't think it affects you. You watch this and you are constantly reminded that it's true, that what happened really happened, and you're sort of invited to almost become like a member of the gang.
Yes, because you're like, oh my God, they're real, like, you can go to jail, you can...
Exactly, so the whole time you're thinking, how far is this going to go?
Yeah.
Where is it going to end? What's going to happen? And I think because of that, we've sat in screenings, in previews and festivals where people are, like having a really, a woman described it as being too suspenseful for it, and you watch people watching through it because you're like, you watch it in a way that I think is different from how you watch a normal film, because
Yes.
They're the real guys. This really happened.
Now, were you kind of, I was like taken aback watching it. Were you, when you saw the finished product, were you kind of impressed with yourself with how like seamless you were able to go back and forth with these stories?
Yeah, I was terribly impressed with myself. No, I wasn't. I was like, it was very carefully planned, the script and the transitions between those things. And I'd made a movie a few years ago called The Imposter, which had elements of that. And with this, it was about kind of taking it to a whole other level. We've got these amazing actors, and within the script, there are these very clear moments where we segue back and forth from the real people. And it was just about finding a rhythm for that, so that you don't feel like, oh, hang on a minute, what am I not in the movie anymore? It actually, it adds to the depth of connection to the movie.
It was really, really incredible, super fascinating. I was like Googling after I finished watching, like, okay, what's the, was there anything that was left out? And it seemed like you captured everything. The cast came together, they had great chemistry. Can you talk about that process?
Yeah, in a way, casting a heist movie is a little like the process of casting members of a criminal gang to commit. First you need your kind of charismatic leader, your sort of Danny Ocean character, and that was, Evan did an audition, and I was like, okay, here we go, job done. This is
Warren.
is Warren.
Mm-hmm.
He was just so kind of magnetic. And, he's a brilliant actor, as you know. And then it was about putting the kind of, going out to recruit the next guy. And that was Spencer, who's played by Barry Keoghan, who's a young Irish actor. You'd never know it, but he's a sort of self-trained, very natural. And so we brought those two together for a chemistry test in New York, brought Evan from LA and Barry from Dublin, and immediately my concern was that they would look too, Barry can look like, you see him in Dunkirk, he plays like 16, and then you see him in our film and he's in his early 20s, and so I was worried that Evan and Barry would look too different in age, but they came together, and I'd sent them to go for a walk around like Manhattan together, and they came back and they were like they'd been friends for years, and so
That's
and that's
amazing.
just that magical thing that it's hard, and when you see it, you have to kind of
Yes.
grab it, and then it, you know, the other two, it was always, you know, the crucial thing for me was that they felt like real people, you know, that, you know, they're all handsome and attractive guys, but they had to feel like you or I, not like kind of Hollywood movie stars,
Mm-hmm.
you know, kind of really pretty faces.
Mm-hmm.
They had to feel relatable.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jared, who I had been unfamiliar with, you know, a few years ago, he was working a mine in Manitoba.
Oh wow.
You know, so they're all real guys as well as, you know, phenomenal actors.
Yeah, they definitely felt authentic, and I can't wait for everybody to see this film. And thank you so much.
Oh,
for
thank
taking the
you.
time.